Okay, next up. Oh, such a love. Alison. Oh, Alison. Alison is a dancer who is trying to be a runner. She loves noodles, naps, and nature, and enjoying all of these with her friends. She co-produces Screen Door Storytelling Monthly and is inspired by the power of vulnerability. Let's welcome Alison to the stage.
When I first met Bree, she had the queer haircut, and I can attest that it was a great one. Hi. So, travel back with me a little bit. I'm 11 years old, and I'm with my dad in San Diego, and there was a park that we liked to go to for picnics in the evening. It was a beautiful night. It was dusk. We had brought, these were bougie picnics. We brought like chicken cutlets and Henry's organic sodas, and at the checkout at Vaughn's, I knew that it was going to be a good night if my dad said, let's get some Rochers. You know that, those gold foiled wrappers signals a good night. So we're at this park, and it's just beautiful soft dusk, and we're playing Frisbee back and forth. Now, one thing that no one can accuse me of being is coordinated. I can dance up a storm. Anything that involves hand-eye coordination, shaky at best. So I get distracted. I'm probably looking at a butterfly flying by or something, and my dad has thrown the Frisbee, and I turn around, and it whacks me square in the forehead, and I go down. And he, across the field, is going, I'm sorry. Oh, snap. Not snap, it was a different word. And I start crying because I'm shocked. And he shouts across to me, all right, you're okay, just get back up, let's pass the Frisbee back and forth a few more times. And I lean my head up and I go, what? I don't want to pass the Frisbee anymore. And he's like, no, we gotta do this. I don't want you to be traumatized by Frisbee, so let's just get up, let's pass it back and forth, let you know that you're okay, and then we can go. Okay. There's a long history of my dad and I saying things to each other, and one of us going a bewildered, what? It's good. So my dad is my adventure buddy. We love to go to concerts together, go camping and hiking together. We have the same sense of humor, very sarcastic. I look just like him. I dress like my mom, but if I cut my hair and started dressing in like flannels and cargo shorts and Keen sandals, I would look exactly like my father. So I'm thinking about all of the ways that as a child he let me know that it was okay to keep going and be strong. He's the kind of bird that shoves you out of the nest so that you know that your wings work really well. And my mom is the kind of bird that's tending the nest, letting me know that I can come back and that it's okay. I remember being about 5, and we're in the Pacific Ocean, and we're holding hands, me and my dad, with our backs to the waves. And he's teaching me, I'm like chest deep in water. My mom's on the shore, nervously wringing her hands. And my dad's teaching me to close my eyes and listen for when the waves are coming up behind me so that we know when to jump. My eyes are all red from salt water. It's great. 2 years old, we're camping, and my dad's dragging me up a mountain, teaching me how to rock climb. My mom, again, at the bottom of the mountain, wringing her hands, shouting to bring me back. So last year, my dad and my stepmom and my siblings moved to Cleveland, and it's been really hard not having them here. But recently, I went up and spent a week with them, and we had a great trip. My stepmom and I did a bunch of yoga together, talked about yoga retreats and connecting with your inner child. And my dad and I went to a jazz show. And the last night that I was there, we sat down, and my dad is very practical. He loves Excel spreadsheets. And he sits down, I'm leaving very early in the morning, and he says, all right, well, let's have a conversation about your finances. I was like, okay. So we start talking, and you should know that on a good day, I am an emotional person. On a bad day, and the last 2 months have been sort of like one big bad day, I'm extremely emotional. So a few minutes into this very helpful and very necessary conversation about Roth IRAs, I start crying. I just burst into tears. My poor dad across the living room looks absolutely bewildered. His face is scrunched. He goes, "Okay, if this conversation is upsetting you, we don't have to have it." And I'm like, "No, it's not you, Dad, I promise. It's just me. I'm having kind of a hard time lately. It's all right, like we can keep talking." But it goes off the rails. So for the rest of the evening, this stretches out for hours. It is painful. I go upstairs so that I can cry without looking at my dad and knowing that he's worrying about me, and he's sort of sulking around trying to figure out what he's doing wrong, which is nothing. I just cry sometimes. And we come back together at the end of the night, and we're sitting there, and he says, "You know, Alison, I need to know that you're okay. I love you and I care about you so much, and I'm worried about you. I need to know that you're okay." And I realized that's like my dad's worst fear, is for me to not be okay. I have to figure things out and be strong and know that I can move on and keep moving forward. And right now, at this particular moment, I'm not necessarily fully okay. And it scares me to think that I might not be living up to what my dad wants for me. And so we both apologize, but I keep crying, and I think to myself, oh my God, if I can't stop crying, this conversation is never going to end, and we're both going to be in purgatory forever, because it's making me feel so awkward, and it's making him feel so worried. And eventually, we apologize to each other, and we say that we love each other. And I think about how similar I am to my dad, how I'm like a funhouse mirror version of him. We're almost identical, but I'm different enough to really spook him out a little bit sometimes, and he doesn't know what to do with it, and that's probably for the best. But the good thing is, I was talking this over with a friend, and she said, you know, you kept having the conversation. You kept feeling awkward and sitting there trying to talk to each other. And that's true. I look forward to a lifetime of having awkward and hilarious and painful conversations with my dad, because I need them. And he gave me his wedding ring from being married to my mom a couple of years ago, and I've been wearing it ever since he gave it to me. I'm not sure that I'm ever going to have anybody to give it to, so I figured I could just give it to myself, and it's worked out really well. I think of, you know, he likes to say that genetics are a strange and terrible thing, but lucky for me, I think for the most part they've been a good thing. The Avett brothers say something that really resonated with me for this story, which is, always remember there is nothing worth sharing like the love that let us share our name. So thanks, Dad, thanks, family. I was telling him that I was coming to do this story about nature versus nurture, and he said, if you have anything bad to say about me, I don't want to know. Thanks.